guys, today we're working on a 95 Toyota Celica. We're going to change out some rusty brake lines. And step one, get the lug nuts on the rim loosed up before you get it off the ground, and that will alleviate you tugging and yanking at the lug nuts trying to loosen them while they're on the jack. You don't want it falling off the jack. Alright, set the parking brake. Make sure it's firm. Put some wood underneath the tires, because once you're getting the car off the ground, we don't want it moving much. Norm's my assistant today. He's helping out. Alright, Norm, he is positioning the jack stands. There you go. Again, I got the rear on a jack stand and the front on a jack stand. Safety first. You don't want to be underneath that car with solely the jack.
Let it soak for as much as we can, and then we'll start wrenching it off. Maybe we'll have to heat it up to get it loose.
Okay, I want to pop the hood down in this area. We're working with
Look at that.
the back right. I'm sorry, the back left, or the driver's seat or driver's side. Let me try to zoom in here. He's right down there, which he just broke loose.
So in the event that your bolt does end up stripping on you, you're going to have to use vice grips or the equivalent to get it out there, and you're just going to adjust this down until it's on there really snug, and then you just break it free, just like that.
Alright, and at this point you want to go out and get your Fluttering Kit. You can get it at a local auto parts store. It's pretty inexpensive, and we'll show you how to use this as we work through flaring the actual lines.
So what we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure that we're using the right one, because there's metric and then there's US standard. So because this is a a metric car, we're going to make sure that we're using the right size fitting in here. And it fits in there just fine. Alright, so then on to the next step.
Alright, now it's time to actually flare. We're going to double flare the actual line, and I'm going to hand it over to Norm. He's going to run you through on how to do that.
Alright, so first what you're going to do is you're going to put your nut on there. If you don't, you're going to have to cut it and do it all over again. And then you measure out that much, which is about the thickness of there. You clamp it down, and then we're going to stick it inside there. Put this piece in here. Clamp it down until this fitting meets this piece here, and then we'll take it out and do the double flare. Alright, so we got the first part of the flare done. Now after we take that piece out, we're going to go up here, put this piece in here, snug it down. You don't want to go too tight, because if you squeeze it too thin, you're not going to have a very strong connection.
When it's all done, it should look like that. We're going to release this.
So after we remove the clamp, I'm just going to slide this down on there, look at your connection, kind of make sure that everything meets up right, and then we're going to stick it in there and start bending it down the car.
Alright, now the opposite side of the actual brake line, you're going to do the exact same flare. Double flare, you're going to make sure that your bolt is on, and in our case we're going to use this whole line. We won't have to use any unions or adapters, and we will position this from the bottom, or insert from the bottom up to the actual part. Alright guys, now we are underneath the car, and very important part, you want to verify and locate the correct line that you're working with. For us, it is that outer line that he's playing with right there. Pretty rusted. All of them look pretty rusted, but that's the one we're focusing on with this video. And be careful when you yank it off. You don't want to harm the others as you remove that line. Okay, at this point we fed the brake line as well as the bolt fitting there, as you can see. Point right down just in there. There it is. And we've got it in a position where we're just going to disconnect that one right down in there, as you can see. And when you're bending the brake lines, do it incredibly carefully. If you bend it too much or kink it, then you're gonna have to start all over. So be very, very careful. So what he's doing right now, he's disconnecting that fitting there, and probably gonna leak a little bit of brake fluid out. And what we'll do is we'll take that off and put this tip on. Okay, new fitting is tightened, and we're just going to pull the old line back out, and it's a little bit down there, as you can see. We'll just pull that one out and put it back in its plastic fittings, the new one. Alright, now I'm back here, and what I'm going to do is unscrew this bolt tip, and he's going to pull that line through. And again, when you're bending these new lines, be very careful, because you do not want to kink any portion of this. And as you see, because we connected up top, it's starting to come through, so we're going to do this pretty quickly. Off with the old, in with the new. Alright guys, the last final step is once you get everything all installed, everything tightened down, and the brake line back into the connection points underneath, it's time to bleed your brakes. I will not bore you with that part of the project. There's several videos out there that you can do, but there is a bleeder valve back here, and that is the final step of the project. And I hope this helped. If it did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we do appreciate you watching.